So, just before the Christmas break, we were doing algebra, and we're going to move on to a new topic now. We will come back and revise algebra when we're back in school, but at home, I'd like us to do a slightly different topic, and that's geometry. So, geometry is the study of angles, and we can see here that I've got three different pictures, and you can see here just a little 90, and then you can see 180, and you can see a tiny little 0 to the top right hand corner of these numbers. So we're going to be learning all about angles and about the rules of angles. And that's what geometry is the rules of angles. Now, if you don't know what an angle is essentially this bit here of a corner. So if you have this line here going from A to O and then from O to B, so this black line, okay, the angle is the measurement here, this bit. So from here to here, okay, the difference between this line and this line is the angle. And the angle tells us, how close together those two lines are or how far apart they are. So if we look here, we can see this is a right angle, and you might have heard of right angle triangles. And that's a triangle that two of the sides look like this, and then the other line goes from up here down to down here. That would be a right angle triangle. It's called right angled because this from here to here, you can see the red line, is 90, and the little circle means degrees. And that's how we describe an angle. We say it's 90 degrees, okay? So this one here is, you can see the lines are closer together. So this angle here would be less than 90 degrees. It might be about 45 degrees if I was to guess, okay? So this might be 45 degrees. I'm just guessing though. And then here, this is 90 degrees. A 90-degree angle is when the line that's going straight up in the air and the line that's going flat like this are perpendicular. Okay, you might have heard that word before. Perpendicular, which means this is going straight up and this is going straight across. Okay, and the difference between the two lines is 90 degrees. And if you ever see this little the line going across and down like this. It's like a little square. If you ever see this, that's telling you, oh, that's a right angled angle, okay? If you ever see a square like that, it's saying, oh, this is a 90-degree angle. Now, if a line is totally flat like this, okay? If a line is totally flat, we say that the angle from here all the way across to here is 180 degrees. Okay, that's really important. So a right angle is 90 degrees, and then from here all the way across is 180. If you think about it, you probably heard people talking about doing a 180, and that means going from one direction and completely changing direction. So you do a 180, a U-turn, and you can see here, this is a U, an upside down U. This is like a U-turn, but in Ireland we'd be doing a U-turn the other direction. But in America they drive on the other side of the road, so they'd be doing a U-turn this way. So doing a 180 is doing a U-turn, so that's changing direction. So going from, say, here to here, or vice versa, okay? So we call this angle here, this red line, this is 180. And that's really important, because the questions you're going to get is you're going to be given, and I'm going to show you some now in a minute, you're going to be given some questions where you have to figure out what the angle is without using a protractor, which we'll talk about in tomorrow's lesson, okay? So what I'll show you one or two more rules of angles while we're here. So say I get my ruler and I draw a line just like this, okay? And then I get it and I draw another line, another straight line. This is really important, the fact that it's a straight line, okay? So I have these two lines here, okay? Now, one of the rules is in geometry, if you have lines that are crisscrossed like this, this angle here that I'm drawing in red, this angle, this bit here, okay? This angle and this angle are what we call opposite angles, okay? They're opposite each other, all right? And whatever this angle is here, let's say it looks like it might be 70 degrees. I'm just guessing, okay? So this is 70 degrees. The opposite angle is the same. It is also 70 degrees. And we do the little circle. It's like temperature. So that's 70 degrees, and the opposite angle is also 70 degrees. Now, I'm going to try and figure out what, oh, that didn't change for some reason. I'm going to try and figure out what this angle is, okay? So what could this angle be? Now, here's where we have to use our knowledge of angles that you're only learning now, but after a week or two, it'll be second knowledge to you, okay? So I want to figure out what this angle is, all right? And if I look and if I turn my head to the left, if I tilt my head to the left, okay, and I look at this line starting here and finishing here, if I look at just this line, all right, that, if you tilt your head to the left, is a flat line. And we see up here, here's a flat line here, up the top, yeah? So this is a flat line, and flat lines have an angle of 180 degrees. Now, here we have an angle of 70 degrees, okay? So the flat line is from here to here. So we already have an angle here of 70 degrees. So whatever is left over here must be the angle. So a flat line angle is 180 degrees. And this side here is already taken up by a 70 degree angle. So if we subtract 70 from 180, we get 110, don't we? 110. So this angle here must be 110 degrees. So this is 70 here, and this is 110. So together, 110 plus 70 would make, from here to here, it would make it 180, wouldn't it? Because 110 plus 70 is 180. And now, because I figured out what this blue angle is, and this blue angle here is the opposite, it's the opposite one. Remember, we learned about opposites just a moment ago. So this blue angle that I'm coloring in, that's an opposite angle. So this also is 110. Now, if I was to add all of these together, this would be 110 plus 70. That would be 180. And this is also 110, and this is 70, so that'd be 180. So if I add all the angles together, all right, I'd get 360 degrees. So if we start here and we look at the angle that goes all the way around, excuse my poor circle, that angle would be 360, wouldn't it? And remember, I was talking about doing a 180 is like going from one direction to another. Doing a 360 is doing a full turn. So if I'm facing the front of the classroom and I do a 360, I'll turn all the way around and I'll face the same direction. I'll face the front of the classroom again. So that is the basic rules of angles. Now we're going to do a few questions, okay? So I'm just going to hide this for a moment, and we're going to have a look at this question here. All right, so here I have two lines, just like we had before, and we need to figure out what angle A is and what angle B is. Now, if we look at angle A, what is the opposite angle? The opposite angle is 70, okay? And remember, opposite angles are the same. So if this is 70, this must be 70. And now we want to find out what B is. Well, we know that this is 70, and we know that from here to here is a straight line. And a straight line has an angle of 180, doesn't it? This is just identical to the question we were looking at a second ago. So 180 is the angle of a straight line from here to here. And we've already used up 70 on this side, so I subtract 70. So the leftover bit, b, must be 110. So this is 110. Let's have a look at this one here. Here we have a 30-degree angle. So what would the opposite be? It would be 30 degrees. Opposite angles are the same. Here we have a 150. Now let's look. 30 plus 150 makes 180. So from here to here, these two angles added together give me 180. Okay? Now 150, what's the opposite angle? It's C. So C must also be 150 because opposite angles are the same. Okay, I want you to pause the video and try and do this question here, all right? All right, hopefully you've managed to finish this question. So first thing we look at is 140, okay? So 140 and the opposite angle, I'm just going to get rid of this blue arrow. 140 and the opposite angle is E. So opposite angles are the same, so that must be 140. Now, what is F? Well, we can look at a straight line from here to here, and we know that this side here is 140, and we know that a straight line has an angle of 180 degrees, and this side has already used up 140, so we just subtract 140 from 80, and that gives us 40 degrees. So the leftover bit is 40. So this must be 40. F is equal to 40. Now, I would like you all to try and do this for homework. And in tomorrow's video, we'll start tomorrow's video by going through this. So pause the video now and try and do these. You can draw them out in your copybook if you want, or you can just write down what the answers would be. You could write down H equals G equals L equals, it could be an I or an L, I think it's an L. And then over here in your copies you can write K equals J equals and L equals. And then over here you can write P equals Q equals R equals. So you can draw them out if you want to, or you can just write it out like this on a piece of paper, and we'll check the answers in tomorrow's video. Okay, good luck.